moment of clarity often occurs during or after a painful situation, such as a near-death experience, trauma, and feeling a loss. When you experience these realizations, you can't ignore them because they hold the answers you're looking for. This podcast will discuss those answers. Welcome to another episode of Moment of Clarity. I'm your host, Cito Blanco, man. Never miss a free throw. We outside, man. We outside inside New York. Got a snowstorm right now. Mm-hmm. But it's cool, though, because it gives us time to have intellectual conversations. Yes. And on this Sunday, we just mellowing out. Cleaned up a little bit, cleared my mind, read a couple chapters in the book. Oh. And now I'm just like ready to just like express, you know what I'm saying? I think Sundays is the best day. We moving the show to Sundays now because I think this the podcast that like when you cleaning your house, when you tapped in, when you having a certain vibe, it's important to go into your week with a different perspective. Yeah. I'm not saying the perspective is for you. I'm not saying it's not for you. But the simple aspect of moment of clarity is just to create clarity within the clouded thoughts that we have in our minds. Right. And as we create clarity, hopefully we can get a clearer vision. With a clearer vision, we can execute these goals, and with better goals, you know what I'm saying? We could just run it up.
More success.
More life. More everything, you feel me? Yeah. More life, you feel me? I got my beautiful host with me, Vine.
Hey.
She back for another time.
Happy to be here.
Drinking some wine.
The tea peasy.
The hood honey. So how you been? How's everything going?
Pretty good. Just trying to get this bag together. You know, I had COVID beginning of January, so my funds have been fucked up.
That's the part about COVID people don't talk about. Like when you get sick, ain't no Uncle Sam don't be like, here's a stimmy, here's a check.
Nope, nobody.
You sick, you lose money.
Absolutely, every day. So trying to get my money together. Rent is due. Rent is around the corner. Thank God my landlord gave me to the 5th. Shout out to you, Andrew.
Hey, shout out to Andrew, man, for the 5th, man. I got 5 on it.
You know, be kind. Be kind to your tenants, y'all, or be kind to your landlords, people, because they may have a way for you, if anything. But
that's a fact.
But I'm here. I'm happy to be here. You know, I'm gonna be honest. I've been getting a little jealous, you know, seeing the other, you know, people on here. But I also feel like it would be a good vibe to have maybe me and Spice rotating. That way you could always have 2 guests, you know. And then also maybe they don't feel bombarded either. Like if it's 3 people on one.
No, which is a fact. I think the creation of moment of clarity is just the creation. That's what
you said in the beginning. Yeah, we're just doing whatever. But I'm a routine and habit kind of girl, okay?
And I'm trying to get
consistency.
We all love consistency, and I know women love consistency.
And you a Taurus too, so you have to know we creatures of habits.
We are creatures of habits.
We don't like to commit to things that don't happen forever.
Which is a fact.
I'm kidding. We don't have to do this forever.
Always and forever. As we start to just finesse it out or we mellow it out, as I start to see the balance in it, I think it's a beautiful space of just as we create it.
Yeah.
And as we create it, I think moment of clarity is going to be this space where it's just so open that it's not. There's no own. It just happens.
Yeah.
Because there's moments in time where I want to see podcasts if I'm not here.
Right.
I would love to see you and Spice just go at it with somebody and see what happens. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
Like I don't want it to feel like my voice has to be the most dominant voice in it at times.
Okay.
And I just want us to kind of grow and evolve in it.
I feel you.
But as like nature allows it to happen, you know, who's here as the schedule's in line. And
so that's really what you meant. That's what you meant when you was kind of introducing it to me. Is like kind of like, oh, this is just an open space I'm creating.
Yes,
I feel you
100%. Yeah, because that was the viewpoint on it. It's difficult because I know there's certain listeners that's like, yo, I was waiting for the Cito toxic talk your shit poetry kind of podcast, and I was like, yeah, I have certain things in the works like individually with that, but I wanted this to be more community. Yeah. I think it's important to have these conversations because these conversations go a long way.
Yeah, it definitely gives me a lot of. It's probably why I was a little jealous because I think the space definitely gives me a moment of clarity for real. So
for real, and I see that, and I see when people leave here how they feel of like, you know what? Okay, I know it wasn't bugging, or I can have a certain conversation, or dang, I didn't think about it that way. And to me, I think that's important. Like we're not trying to be right, we're not trying to be wrong. We're just trying to understand the truth. Let's find the truth, and I feel like clarity is truth.
Yeah,
clarity is not being right, it's finding the righteousness.
Yeah.
It's giving grace.
Yeah.
And with that grace, like you put something up on Instagram that had me just thinking like toxic, what is it? Toxic monogamy?
Toxic monogamy.
I was like, Because we know, toxic is the word of
the fucking century.
Of the century
so,
now.
Shit,
Toxic,
like,
accountability,
toxic.
all these all these words that are. But when I read it, it made me think, and it really like made me dissect like certain aspects of myself.
Yeah.
And I was having a conversation last night. Not gonna name my source. And in the conversation, we were discussing ownership over bodies. Like, all right, we live in a patriarchal society, as they say. And in that aspect, women have explained how they don't want to be living through the male gaze.
Yeah.
They don't want to be living through how
the men think things should go and how they should be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in that only.
Yeah.
And in that space, it made me realize that, okay, there's some fault to this. Like, there's some fault that I have in this because if I'm not part of the solution, I'm part of the problem. So me necessarily like trying to be accountable, I had to realize like, all right, let me try to wash away this lens of ownership of feeling like, yeah, that's mine.
Yeah.
You my girl.
Yeah.
You my things. You know what I'm saying? You my whatever. And just realize that you're a human, I'm a human, and we're just experiencing something together. But in that space, it also gave me a freedom that made me realize that kind of relinquishes certain women's power.
Right.
Because they'll kind of dangle the pussy over your head like it's a carrot. Or they'll use it to their advantage in certain situations.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily fault them for that because I feel like that's a trait developed. A habit developed. Because of circumstances. Or survival, some Darwinism shit.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because you lived in a patriarchal society, you're going to find your ways to maneuver through it. And so I don't knock it.
Right.
But then as I start to relinquish that viewpoint and it's still being used, the game starts to slow down.
Yeah. It's a fact. That's real.
And as it slows down, it makes me just start to wonder, like, why do I believe in monogamy?
Yeah. Thank you.
And I start to wonder, like, I don't, like, maybe.
What's the point of this play? Because you said something earlier before we started. You said it's a power play.
It is a power
play.
Sex
becomes, and that's exactly what I discovered in myself a few months ago. That I can really use the relationships I have as power plays, and sometimes it's fun, right? If the person knows what's up, if they know that it's just a bunch of tension and fun and whatever, like you want to have the upper hand sometimes, I have the upper hand sometimes. That's cool. That's why people do BDSM, right?
Hold on, what's BDSM?
Bondage, domination, sadism, masochism.
Okay, that's like when they in the all black game with the whips and all that.
Kinky shit, right? So typically, or something about dom sub. Please, I don't know what BDSM stands for. Okay.
Okay, I'll just get it.
In the BDSM world, there's typically a dom and a sub, right?
Okay.
And that's a power play, right? Or maybe somebody likes to be a teacher and then another person likes to be a student. Or, you see a lot like mommy and daughter, right? Or daddy and daughter, whatever the case, right? A lot of times these people are reenacting roles where they are completely sure of what they're doing and what the other person is doing. And in that way, that can be very safe, right? So when we're engaging in power play with each other, we're just making sure we stay safe. If there is an agreement that this is what we're doing, I think that's fun, cool, sexy. You can keep the vibe alive for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Let's say I'm talking to you, Cito, and you disappear for 3-4 days, and you come back like, yo, what's up? You miss me? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, maybe I missed you. What's up with you?
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying? That's a power play, right? And sometimes sex is used in that way. Like, I'm gonna take it away, or I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make sure that I hit you randomly, so you never know when I'm coming. That's another power move.
And that's real though. It's a cat and mouse game. But it's tough because
it cannot translate to a genuine connection. And usually, I'm sorry, and not to interrupt you, Cito, but usually that setup is what people go into when they decide to be exclusive with each other. So now you're trying to make something long term. Because why else are you going to be exclusive? I'm sorry. But besides maybe insecurities you're working through, or I don't know, maybe you have a really big need for your partner, and if they're dealing with a lot of people, they're less available to you. You know what I'm saying? Or I feel like the exclusivity comes with because we're trying to build long term, and I don't want anything getting in the way of that. You know what I mean? So,
but I also feel like it's a physical thing as well.
Oh.
In the sense of just like, if we're talking about long-term building families, like I feel like from a woman's standpoint, and maybe I'm wrong, but from a woman's standpoint, you kind of want to have an idea of who's going to be around you, especially if you're going to be bearing a child, especially if you're going to be emotionally invested. And I'm not saying that it can't work in other senses, in other
Yeah.
If it's poly or if it's open relationships, the
Yeah.
other dynamics. Yeah. I'm not saying, but once again, I'll be honest, I've been brainwashed to only see it in the monogamous sense.
Yeah.
The only other example I can have is just like animals.
Yeah.
Where they're basically a tribe. And as a community, we build this family.
Right.
And we grow this family.
Right.
To a sense, if the father dies, then
Someone
the mother, somebody else steps up and continues it on because the main objective is keeping the legacy going.
Right.
I feel like right now, we're not in the space where we're so focused on like family and kids and keeping it going. I think we're one of the first few generations that are just really just here kind of like, yo, damn, this life shit kind of crazy.
Yeah,
Nigga getting a little money now, you know what I'm saying? Get a little Uber Eats, it could be a little fly.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to really, like I don't have to like get married right now because
I could get on the app for some pussy if I want it.
Yo, what? Like I could just run this shit up, nigga. It's lit.
Yep.
And it starts to wonder like what was the integrity of it all?
Yeah.
Like when love isn't a form of survival,
right?
When sex isn't a vacation or an escape, what is the true value in these things? And we're starting to see that I feel like with the people today in our generation, because we're starting to realize that now that you're not handcuffed to a relationship,
right.
Now that women are realizing that they mom and their grandmother put up with so much shit, and now they like I don't have to put up with it. Some of them relationships don't last that long, and as it happens, it makes me wonder. We kind of look at the past so much and say, I wish I had that 45, 60-year love. But to be honest with you, are you willing to go through the 45, 60-year-old pain that they went through? And the answer to that has been no. So I need a clear example of monogamy working today where women have the say-so, the resources, and men don't have...
Are faithful?
Yo, men are faithful. Black men don't cheat. Let me stop. Listen, I believe that there are men that have been faithful. Here. I believe that. That's a fact. But I just want, show me a clear example of what that looks like in the past or today. Because if I don't get an example of that, it goes to show me that we're on the cusp or on the cup of trying to find something or create something that doesn't exist.
Yeah. I just thought about this TikTok that I saw where this guy was saying that a lot of men, it's not like they cannot be monogamous, is that they've never practiced monogamy because they were exposed to sex too early. Right, so, being exposed to sex too early, 11, 12, losing your virginity, a lot of men, and that's a surprising statistic. You losing your virginity at 12 years old is crazy to me. So he said that when you're younger, when you're younger, you're you're fucking, and because it's all superficial, it's transactional, you're fucking mad people, you're probably fucking a girl once or two. Listen, in my grown age, a person that I used to talk to that I loved told me I'm only used to having sex with girls about 2 or 3 times.
1,000% on God. And
they said, and the guy in the TikTok said that's a habit. And so now when you get older and you feel like, okay, maybe I should settle down, you have never been in the practice.
Nah, it's not honestly, doing that. I'm a strong believer that the way that men and women are raised we're not raised to be compatible with each other for a lifetime. We're just not. I'm not saying it can't exist. I'm just saying the way that it's valued. Even growing up in the Jamaican culture, even the way that my mom has helped me cheat before. Like my mom has been in that space where it's kind of like, yo, you have to show your role, the gal, I'm going to be the gal. I'm like to be honest with you, and this is and I don't knock my mother for this. A lot of the way that I've been viewed to attack women or disrespect women emotionally or spiritually have come from other women.
Yes.
Have come from, look, her hair look like this, or why she walk like this, and so this hate amongst women is kind of like you could bring a girl around and your cousins or your sister and certain people will kind of talk about them a certain way, and you're kind of like, yo, damn, I like her though, and you shouldn't like her because she got this and she got that, and now you start to look at them that way.
Right.
You start to look at the women that way. And you start to realize, damn. And I think that's when not having the fatherly figures in those. I'm not gonna. I've had my father around.
Yeah.
But when you
mentioned he was working a lot.
He was working a lot.
Yeah.
But also he used more the sense of kind of yo, just run him down, just get them notches on your belt,
really?
Legit.
You're young.
Yeah, just live your life, kind of. So it's a.
there has been no accountability that's been fostered in you when it comes to how you show up for women that you're interested in romantically and sexually.
I think that's the realest.
Like if there was your sister, your cousin, you would taught to respect them more. But if there was just somebody that you was fucking around, it was kind of like they were already lower valued by the people in your life.
In your life, so you're just kind of like whatever. Yeah. Like I haven't seen a successful blueprint to teach especially young minority men sexual integrity.
Yeah.
Value your body and value who you have sex with.
It's interesting. I'm sorry. Let me not interrupt you.
No. But like you see so many of the stories of like you getting a 12-year-old kid a prostitute or have him going with a stripper or like him fucking a babysitter or him like
or in
it's
family
so many
parties and people are twerking on them
and it's like in parties and it's kind of like we kind of overprotect the woman's virginity, but we kind of dash away the man's virginity and just be like, yo, just get rid of that. Like run them up, you know what I'm saying?
Because people they've always seen men to be wild, rambunctious. Like there has to be an outlet. So if you need an outlet, at least let a woman be your outlet instead of being in the streets, killing, fucking thugging or whatever the case. Might as well women be it.
But you don't lose that.
See how low valued we are? We're so low valued in society. No. They're like, just run through that woman if you want to, get it out.
Legit, that's what's taught. But then one day you're gonna be like, all right, now stop running through them.
Exactly.
Find one that you love and you want to build a life with, and just go with it. And it's kind of like, yo, whoa.
That says a lot too about the lack of guidance that most men have, probably starting at the age of like 13, 14. It's like, oh, you a man now.
Yeah, 100%.
So maybe a lot of people are not willing to cultivate that wisdom in you because they're like, now you could figure it out.
But to be honest, who's supposed to teach it to you?
Your father, the people in the community, your uncles.
But be honest, let's
siblings,
keep it funky.
Cousins.
How many faithful older men do you know that are married?
Well, not about faith. I guess right now I'm not talking about that so much as I'm talking about what it looks like to carry yourself with dignity. You said sexual integrity. What it looks to carry yourself with integrity and dignity and character and morals.
I've been taught to be carrying myself with morals in a job, in professional settings, with my family.
All they want the man to do is to get that money.
Amongst other men.
Get that money and don't let nobody play you
sports,
for a fool.
In my creative endeavors, and the block. There's always ways to be taught to, you gotta, in other terms, keep it P.
Right.
Keep it player, keep it gallus, keep it gangster, keep it everything. It's never explained or taught in the sense of women.
Yeah. Well, that's because I feel like women, you have to be taught love, right? All of the other stuff is finesse. All of that other stuff is game. All of that other stuff is figuring out. Listen, if you're getting taught how to be on the block, how to be with your boys, how to be in business, how to get your money, that's all finesse. That's how do you find ways to make it work? Not necessarily how do you show up authentically.
But to that point, it's kind of like if a nigga don't got his shit together, it's kind of like your showing up don't matter, and that's what's kind of been taught. And now showing up looks different. Now you have to show up not just economically or with resources. You got to show up mentally.
With your mind, your
you got to show up emotionally.
Yep.
But
that's it. I made my fucking mind up. If I cannot know a man's heart, he's not getting nowhere near my vagina.
But the question is, who cultivates the heart? Like, my thing is, how do you get there? Like,
just
what is
express your thoughts, right? Because men are more logical. So really, all these things that you're thinking, they're really stemming from your heart, but you're putting them in your mind. As long as you express your thoughts, someone gets a chance to know how you think. Once they know how you think, they're going to know how you move. Once they know how you move, they're going to observe and understand what is motivating your movements. But that's all leading back to your heart and your spirit. My fault.
Are you good? But to be honest with you, for one, most men don't tap into their heart and their spirit unless they backs against their wall.
They're not allowing their minds to be seen. That's my point, right? So in community, people reflect to you who you are, right? What they're going to reflect if you're not sharing your thoughts is maybe your physical, how you move. You know how they say, like, a girl, she starts talking like you. She develops the mannerisms.
OD.
Right? Because
it never fails.
We're reflecting back to you what we see, right? Yeah. Imagine you start sharing your thoughts, your mind, your heart. We're going to reflect back to you exactly what you're experiencing, and that's how you get to know yourself.
But then in that space, and you're bringing up such a crazy point, I think Monique said this, a man doesn't necessarily know who he is until he knows the type of woman that he wants.
Rakim said that, like, until you heal a woman, you're never gonna be a man.
And I strongly believe that, because there's moments where women have done that. They've tapped into me, they've seen me, they've talked like me, they've moved like me, and I start to admire them and fuck with them. And as I start to see it, I realize that, yo, she's just being a reflection of me.
And you loving yourself more, probably.
And my self-love started with a woman loving me and me loving her. So it started to make me love me. Or a woman loved me so much that I love myself.
Yeah, yeah.
But then the fucked up part about this, once I started to love myself,
you didn't feel like you needed the woman.
Maybe she wasn't really the one for me.
Yeah,
and it sucks because she put so much into me.
Yeah.
Now when I kind of understand who I am and I have a grasp on that, I got 10 toes down, I respect the women that do that for themselves.
Right.
Because I will see women pour into men, love men into loving themselves, but then don't know how to do it for themselves.
Yeah.
And then that got scary.
Yeah.
Because now you're pouring into my cup, but you can't pour into yours.
Yeah.
So now once my cup is full, it should be my objective to pour back into yours. And some men make the attempt and some don't. And I'll be honest. But for the men that do make the attempt to pour back, you start to realize that
she can't receive it.
She can't.
Yeah.
And that's the part that's just like, wow. So I hear the story of how like a woman will build a man up and they leave them. And that's true. It happens. But sometimes it's you building the man up and leaving. But if he attempts to pour back, you didn't clean your cup out. There was no space for it. Or he may try to help you in that and you still just haven't, it just doesn't work out.
I see that as another power move. Like if somebody comes into your life and they're saying, look at all these things I could do for you, but I don't want you to do anything for me. I see that as they want some leverage over you. You know, they don't want to be seen as the person that got the help. They want to be seen as the savior.
Yes, people have savior complexes, but also people, and like, this is heavy in the culture and women do it and men do it. People will blind themselves with others. I've seen people.
They don't gotta focus on themselves. Like, nah, don't turn that attention on me, bro. We talking about.
To be honest, I see that so much with grandmoms or with mothers, where like once their kids get older and once they get beyond that, once their kids get older and once they get beyond that, they no longer have purpose.
Yeah.
They'll look for something else.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason why like I see certain moms now kind of like, I ain't raising your grandkids. Like I ain't raising my grandkids. Like I'm here for it. Like I'm here. I'll be there, but they're not going to just stay here and be with me all day.
Yeah.
Because
they have their own life to live now.
I've seen that older generation like, dang, I raised my kids. Now I got grandkids, and they see their purpose only in the kids. Now some of that is the way that the world is set up. Some of that was
my grandma's like, I don't got nothing else to live for but you. That's
yo, and that's scary to me.
Yeah.
Like that generation of like, I raised the kids, I did all this, I did that. Now I'm good to go.
That's the patriarchy, bro. It's taught us that we're meant to just create and sustain and nurture, and that's it.
But to me, it's like it don't always gotta be children. You can nurture a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like nurturing a business is needed.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You can nurture. There's so many things that could be nurtured.
Yeah.
That to me is like I don't understand. Like I can't say I don't understand.
Yeah.
Well,
back then there wasn't as many like resources. There also wasn't as many rights.
No, true.
So
and
you wasn't raised with the mindset of I can achieve this, that, and the third because it just wasn't real for you. You know?
No, which is real, and I think that's real, and that's why now we're in today's age, and I'm wondering. We kind of starting fresh.
Yeah.
And we don't realize it.
They say that, like, we're in a new age, like the age of Aquarius or some shit, where so many things around community is going to change. And
it's changing.
Community, yeah.
100%. Like, not just the technology aspect, like, it's changing.
People's thoughts,
Yeah, and as we're in it, I feel like as we got these movies and these books behind us, like, you start to wonder, like, what was the things that were implanted in your subconscious that made you wonder what love was? Like, you got to realize every time you've watched a movie with only monogamy, that teaches you monogamy.
Yeah, a lot of people say like the Disney movies.
Yeah,
make this fairy tale.
It creates this fairy tale.
Yeah,
like the amount of women that want the Cinderella story. Like when you get to women, you ask them like this love that they are acquiring, this love that they want. I'm not saying it's impossible. But what I'm simply saying is that in anything in life, there's a process to get to it.
Yeah.
What does that process look like?
You know what hurts for me, Cito, is that like because there's not a lot of men that really think about it like that. Now women become the enemy for showing up and how they've been taught to show up, when really just conversations of you sharing your thought, like someone sharing their mind like that, like, yo, so I mean, what's really the point? Can create a space to talk about it instead of being like judge, villainized, like you know what I mean? Which is
factuals. And to be honest with you, there's two things. Most men aren't great at articulation verbally. They articulate through actions, and they articulate through like body language.
That's why people say if you want to make a point with a man, you gotta start moving differently.
Yeah, like when he starts, that's real shit. Like it's kind of like when you start to move differently.
That's
like
when he realizes.
Like them hugs feel different. Like one of the scariest and wildest feelings in life is when you know like she, when you know she don't fuck with you the same. You feel that shit. You can feel that shit in a text message. You can feel that shit in the call. You can feel it in her hug. You can feel it in how she kiss you. You can feel it in how she fuck you.
It's like damn,
you know, like she don't fuck with you the same.
Most women would have told you a bunch of times what's going on, and you just ignore it.
But
because I don't know about, I wouldn't say most women, but I would say for myself, for example, if I start to move differently at that point, I've tried to express myself to you in so many ways.
Factuals.
And you have just written it off.
But
you're being crazy, or you're wilding, or I don't understand why you feel this way, or not even trying to even see me.
Because you're comfortable. You're comfortable. Like, you comfortable. Like,
who's comfortable there? The guy?
Yeah, he comfortable. Like, I keep it funky with you. A lot of niggas fuck with girls they don't fuck with.
Huh?
A lot of men put themselves in situations or situationships that they don't like that much.
Oh.
You were right here.
Damn, so you're saying that these people that ignore me, they just don't like my ass?
Yo, they don't fuck with you that much. It's the truth.
That's like, real. That's what I had to learn. That's what I'm saying. That's why if I can't get to know you, you cannot be fucking
to be honest with you, like, damn, do I go here, bro?
Yes.
Do I go here?
You go there.
Shit. All right, cool.
You go there. You set it up. Now you gotta take the shot.
All right. Fuck it. Yo, there's a lot of men that I've come across, or I've had conversation with, because I'm the person that have conversation with random people. And you realize once you break it down, it's kind of like, yo, like, you really didn't like her, my nigga. You really didn't fuck with her. Like, she checked off a couple boxes.
How do you get comfortable with someone that you don't fuck with? I have to believe that the person is in denial. I have to believe that. It's a certain, unless you're used to being comfortable in spaces that you don't really like that. Like, maybe your family dynamic was crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
What you like? What? Like, that's, to be honest with you. I'm not even trying to play the oh my god black men in America card, but it's the fucking truth.
Yeah.
Like, we live the life. They say it all the time. You gotta get comfortable being uncomfortable. Nigga, my whole life uncomfortable.
I hear you.
So, to be honest, this uncomfortability at least give me some pussy.
Yeah, and it's also familiar.
At least familiar. At least gonna tap in with me. Right. At least gonna believe in me. At least gonna invest in me. At least gonna.
But damn, you see how all these good things you're getting, right? But you don't fuck with shorty.
When I say that, okay.
How do you not fuck with somebody that's not just pouring into you, right? That is cultivating your success because they are being a good person in your life.
The best way,
like, there has to be something superficial behind that. There has to be something that you don't fuck with, not the person. Maybe you don't fuck with how she says a certain thing. You don't fuck with what she does for a living. Like, sorry, it has to be like, I think I spit a little bit. It has to be like, it's a self-hate thing. It has to be, bro.
Maybe not fuck with you is not the right word.
You know what I'm saying? Because
maybe maybe not fuck with you is the right word.
Yeah.
The best analogy I will say is that at times, imagine planting seeds in a soil that's not going to allow it to grow. But as the seeds, you've never been planted before. So
then you're not even going to know.
So
you're saying the soil is infertile. You don't even fucking know. You don't know shit about the soil.
You don't know nothing about the soil. So the aspect of it is like, you're just like, yo, bro, wow, I've never been planted before. Scared. I've never been watered.
Scared. That's what it
I've
is.
never had the light shined on me. None of that.
Yeah.
So you don't even care if you grow or not. You just happy that you're in an environment that somebody cares about you enough to want you to grow.
Yeah.
But then as time goes on and you don't grow, and you don't evolve, and you don't match that purpose of yours, you start to see that maybe the soil wasn't for me.
You're reflecting, you're talking about like retrospectively, you're realizing that this wasn't the environment for you.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
And in that aspect, long term, and in that aspect, you're like, fuck, like, I'm finally getting here. And what's been on my side and helped me may not be what's for me. And I think that's the part that sucks.
Yeah, we do kind of want things to be forever. Like I said earlier with myself. Yeah, we do kind of want things to be forever. That is something that I'm trying to come to terms with now too, that, you know, ultimately shit happens for the time that it happens, and then if it doesn't happen no more, that's just what it is. You know, I'm the type of person who, if there's at least a little bit of something that I'm feeling, I'm going to go back.
See, nah.
A little bit of a thought, but I'm fighting that now, because you do have to realize that if you're already shown something that you know is not going to work, like you're saying the soil is not going to be beneficial for the long term, you're hurting yourself. You know, it's not really loving yourself, and that's tough. There's two people right now, Cito. If I had like if I had the chance, I would hit them up today, and I'm fighting it right now. As we speak, I'm fighting it because it's not good for me right now. Okay. But I'm someone who believes that everything happens in cycles. So, you know, if we're meant to connect later, when we do connect, it is meant for me at that time, in whatever way. Yeah. You know. Like recently somebody reached out to me that I hadn't talked to for like 2 years, and I absolutely love this person. And I realized that through the conversation that maybe he needed some release and I needed some release from what could have been, you know. But I think that's the toughest part. The toughest part is the whole, if you're someone like me that doesn't want to make a decision, like that you're just gonna waver all the time. But I guess what you're telling me about men is that ultimately they're gonna analyze the situation and be like, well, this is a no. Let me get my ass out of here.
No, but the irony is that's not always the case. The irony is,
sometimes I think it's fear. I have a thing that I've just said, I've just created.
You just created? It is fear, though. It's fear. It is fear. False evidence appearing to be real. It's fear.
You know, I said a man that is unsure about himself or insecure about himself, and I'm going to say this about women too, are always going to go with the safer option. That's the safer job,
1,000%.
the safer person, the safer environment,
1,000%.
Because they don't believe in themselves enough to their ability to grow no matter where they're at.
The biggest thing I will say is a lot of people are scared being alone. The second part about it is that, and I've quoted this so many times, but like T.D. Jakes says, like a man that doesn't know his purpose will never know the woman or the people he needs in his life. And that so many times, it sucks because sometimes men don't leave. Sometimes men seen everything you've done for me and how I know I won't fully grow to my fullest potential with you. But because you've given me this, I will sacrifice the rest of my life and my purpose.
And they think that's being a man,
as being a man. Just to be with you.
That's the tough part.
And give you a kid and provide for you.
That's the tough part.
And their soul dies every fucking day.
That's the patriarchy.
And it's tough because he will be faithful. He'll take care of your kids. He'll show you what love is traditionally supposed to be.
He's dying.
But he's dying, and you'll never get that feeling of unconditional, genuine blissful love that you know exists, because if he's dying within, he can never give it to you. Yeah. And some women are okay with that.
Yeah.
And it makes me start to wonder,
because they have you there.
Just because they have you there. And so to me, my question is it simply just filling the job application and playing the role?
Yep.
Or are we really looking for this Disney love?
Yo, there's so many people playing a role and they think the role is going to get them the Disney love.
Yo, like y'all just playing a role. Y'all signing up like y'all.
That's such a cop-out to me. It's such a cop-out.
But it's a cop. It may be a cop-out, but when you in the Matrix and you live in this life, you feel
path of least resistance type shit.
Yeah, like to me, it's kind of like, yo, it's like these are the same people at times that may not want to go be an entrepreneur or follow their dreams.
Word.
They're going to get I'm never knocking a 9 to 5. Like 9 to 5s are essential. Yeah. Like health insurance is needed. Like get your money, consistent money, work how you need to work. Both can balance entrepreneurship, crypto, stocks. Like you can work it all. You can figure it out. You can figure it all out.
Live your passion.
You can live your passion no matter what. But what I'm simply saying, and I'm not knocking the people that says, yo, fuck it, this life shit crazy. I'm going to just get my job, get me a nice person that I know won't violate me or embarrass me and live my life. I'm not knocking that neither. But when you make that decision, live in that decision, don't necessarily
or don't be afraid to admit that you don't fuck with that decision no more. Like, but there's something about the decision that I made that's not working for me. I'm gonna have to have some changes. There's gonna have to be some stuff.
Them changes is tough when y'all both made the decision.
But yo,
and y'all got permanent decisions in that decision. My fault.
It's okay.
Y'all got kids in that decision.
Yeah, but I also feel like, listen, we have to have more compassion with ourselves. Like, as humans, we are constantly changing. Our circumstances are changing. Our thoughts are changing. Our feelings are changing. Our environments are changing. Like, why would we go and say our commitments shouldn't change? Why?
Because everything's a contract. 5-year lease.
I feel you. Exactly.
Pension come after 20 years.
Nothing is forever. Even if you get married, bro, there's prenups and shit, and there's things that say, this is what I want. If this is not what's going to happen, we're going to have to reconvene. Let's reconvene at a later time.
When is the later time?
when both people admit that there has to be a meeting.
But that's not going to happen. Life happens too much.
I don't think so. I feel like there's so many people who are just letting everything take over them, and not just letting. I'm sorry.
No.
We're in survival mode, so
they letting it happen.
If you got to zombie yourself to exist, okay, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? But if you start to get a little bit of intuition and intuitive thing that's like, yo, this is something I should talk about. This is something that I feel. If things align where it's like, okay, there's a space to create a conversation, you need to do that because it's your life.
It is your life. It is.
It's like your well-being.
But a lot of people don't feel like they got ownership over their life.
Yeah, and I don't, and I also don't fault that because we are grown up in a society that says corporations own your life.
You don't have ownership of your life.
Owns your life. The land and the rules of the land owns your life.
People don't feel like they own their life.
Their mind owns their life. You know what I'm saying? So I cannot fault that, but ultimately, like, it's life or death, bro. That's how I see it. I see it as life or death.
All right. So
any situation I'm in where my heart, my mind, body, and soul is involved. That's my life. So if my mind, body, and soul is compromised, fuck it. I need to say something.
Okay, so now it's funny because we were talking about martyr syndrome and like love, like this Romeo and Juliet kind of what was it?
Damn, I'm gonna throw my whole life away off this shit. Queen and Slim. Let me tell
like
you,
this tragic narrative of love. A
man is gonna respect a woman that protects and saves herself.
Not always though.
Every single time I've come to a man and said, yo, I'm not fucking with this because it's making me feel this type of way. Maybe there's some fighting, but ultimately you cannot not respect me.
No, because I
put it on the table.
Because you put it on the table. That's discipline, that's integrity. And I respect that. You're right. I respect it.
I'm not trying to get aggressive. I'm saying I wish people love themselves a little bit more. And I'm also thinking about the men, right? Because a lot of the men that I've come across, they're not like me. Where I'm going to say how I feel and what I think and what I want. And now you're putting us in a predicament where 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 months down the line, you're walling out. You're bugging.
All right, it's two things. In that aspect, there's one thing that's I've talked about on my Instagram, and it's like, it's difficult. It's two things. You can take it how you want to take it.
Talk to me because that's why I like this space that I created with you.
Either men are scared to tell the truth, or they feel like their woman can't handle the truth. Mm. And sometimes it's a balance of both. Mm-hmm. Now, my experiences is...
I feel like you understand right now. I didn't
my experiences is you can't handle this stuff.
In a lot of ways, yes, but I also think that women have been taught to use their emotions to manipulate. And so you that we can handle it is your experience of us manipulating.
Run it back. Say that again. Nope, say that shit again.
Women have been taught to use our emotions to manipulate men. And that's why men will start to think that we can't handle it because we are manipulating the situation to make them feel that way.
Because y'all know what's about to come or y'all understand how he feels, but y'all like, if I finesse this, manipulate it, water it down real quick, he can say this, but he really don't mean that. And that's real.
Yeah.
And in that aspect, this kind of like this viewpoint that I be having, like sometimes when it comes to saying certain shit to women, I'm like, you gotta go in there with a game plan, like, bro, you're not pussy, my nigga. Like, you'll understand how you feel. Like, state what you gotta state, bro, because she gonna try to finesse you. She gonna try to, the amount of times I done trying to get my shit off, and now all of a sudden she won't give me some head. Now all of a sudden you want to go to a good restaurant. Now all of a sudden you want to watch the game with me, or you want to
potentially lose somebody. It's scary, right? But also I think that sometimes if men had a little bit more grace and compassion, if you don't wait till the very last minute, you're giving yourself space to have grace and compassion. Now, if you're approaching something at the very last minute, you're gonna say it the most direct, the most fucking raw.
But he said it before. With his actions.
Yeah.
It's funny because women always talk about, actions speak louder than words.
Right.
Then listen to the actions.
But then if a woman comes to you and is like, yo, I noticed, you know what? A lot of women, especially in New York, they were like, what's up with you? Why you acting up? And I've been that way. Instead of being like, hey, I've noticed that the vibe is different.
The same grace you're requiring doesn't necessarily get applied the same way.
That's real. I just got checked the other day, like, bro, you always mean to me.
Yo, like, it's like
I don't mean to. I really don't mean to. I don't know what it is. Sometimes that masculine energy be taking over, and now I'm treating you like you my homie. Like
it's just real. It's just some real shit. Like I feel like New York girls be having a fabulous shit in their head all the time. Like y'all know keeping it gangster. Like y'all, it's
my mom has also been like that my whole life, and I think it's because she don't want nobody playing her for a fool. And if she's been taught that a man is gonna do whatever, she's gonna automatically approach something on some G shit, right? Instead of coming with that love.
What is G shit?
G shit, like I'm gonna check you right now.
No, I understand, but what does G stand for? What does G stand for? Gangster.
Yeah.
When is gangster? Like how is gangster in love? Like this ain't.
It doesn't work with romantic sexual love, but it could work with brotherly love.
See, but my thing about it is, and I've been in these situations where it's kind of like you got to kind of prep yourself and get ready to fight for your sanity or your emotions or your feelings. Yeah. Like you like, nah, I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna tell her this, and that's what it's gonna be. And it's kind of like you walk in ready for a fight that may not exist.
Yup. And then you started one because this is how you approach it.
And maybe you gotta walk in and be like, all right.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, it's funny because I had this conversation with my ex one time, and she was just like, I knew like it was an issue because you said, "Can we talk?" And it's kind of like, yo, like you don't never say that. She's like, I thought you were about to break up with me, and she said it. She said, I started doing so many different things, just kind of like. So by the time you got here, that wasn't the same energy.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, you're right. Women are so intuitive, and they know what's happening sometimes emotionally that when they see that something is off. Y'all kind of like
scary.
Like you ever seen the movies where they hit that button?
No.
Yo, they like it's not like
it initiates like a whole nother.
Like it's like in war movies and shit. They hit that button and it's kind of like the text come out. Like everybody gets in mode. Everybody gets on the computers and women be hitting this button. You watch Euphoria? There's a show called Euphoria, right?
Nah, I don't, but I know about it.
Yeah, so women hit this button, and it's like, yo, they be like, all right, fuck, this nigga about to leave
That's
me.
our survival mode.
Or this nigga, he bought something off. All right, what do I gotta do?
Men do that too.
No, 1,000% men in a different way.
I think men are a little bit more like they're looking out for women doing that. They're like trying to, in my experience, they're like trying to be like, oh, is this what she's doing right now? Is she trying to manipulate me? Is she trying to figure out another?
And so now when you start to think about it, we're
damn, I wish that it would just be seen as the person loves you and they're scared. They're scared.
It's not love though. It's not love.
I think that manipulative
but it's not love.
Comes out of fear.
Okay,
right?
but
and
then
maybe the fear, maybe it's not
but
okay.
Fear and love can't live in the same space.
No, you're right. Maybe the fear doesn't come from them loving you. Maybe they're afraid of losing control, or afraid of losing their stability, or afraid of losing their comfort. You know,
and that's
possibly.
And in that's I think that's the biggest problem I have with people's viewpoint of love.
Yeah,
you're scared to use stability. You're scared to use control.
So what does love look like for you, even in the midst of contention? Because for me, love looks like I'm going to have compassion for you. You know, I'm going to affirm you. Even if I'm fucking cursing you out, I might be like, yo, like, I really like when you fucking do this. You know, I do care about you. I love you. You know, I trust you. I want things to work out for you and your highest good. I'll try to affirm the person. Even if I'm wilding, I'm going to try to affirm you. What does love look like then for a man? Back to toxic monogamy, right? Like, what does love look like for a man that will show you that it's healthy?
Honestly, I'm gonna keep it funky with you. I'm really trying to figure it out every fucking day.
Because it's like, sometimes I feel like my hands are tied. You know what I mean? As a poly person, as a person that loves men, as a person that loves people, women too. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I feel like there's so many walls that people put up. That there's really no until you're ready to kind of see something. There's nothing I could do.
But my thing about it is that we didn't create these walls. I feel like we fighting to break them out. But I'm not trying to have Stockholm syndrome. I'm not trying to fall in love with the person that's oppressing me or what's oppressing me.
Yeah,
I feel like we tend to fall in love with the toxic shit or the bad situations or I don't know how to do this and do that, and then we have lust in these moments and we connect with people that both understand what it feels like, and we're like, yo, bro, this shit is exhausting, this shit is a lot. Yo, fuck it. Can I literally just tie your hands real quick? Can I just tie your hands and we just go through this moment? And then from that, once we finish like going through our lustful pleasures, then we'll kind of pick it back up. But then you realize we don't. We just keep numbing it. And then life is happening. We still trying to get money. We're still trying to get these properties. We're still trying to evolve and be the best version of ourselves. Mm-hmm. It's hard enough trying to get these jobs or raise these kids or have a better life or keep your weight down or get your skin clear. Like it's hard to do
when you're trying to survive.
So in those aspects, what I see, and maybe this is especially in my city, I see it spend so much effort and time and everything else except for relationships or love that we're kind of like, by the time we get to love, we just like, yo, can this shit just be calm?
Let me tell you.
Can this shit just be chill? Even if it's fake. Can we just be chill for a night?
We're looking for medicine, and that's the thing. The medicine is in the community. So
it is.
Even if you tell your lover, your partner, like, this is kind of what I need, I think that's okay. I do. I do. But if you don't, if you're just using somebody for a fix, that's tough.
But I feel
if you're honest about what's going on, you get the person to an opportunity to choose. Yeah, let me do this for this person. Let me be there in this way for this person, or not. I think that builds genuine connection.
It does. It does. And in a perfect world, I would love that. Or in our world, I would love that. Fuck a perfect world.
I've had a lover and I'm like, yo, I'm going through, I'm having a hard day. I really would just love to come over and have some sex with you right now.
but see that.
Then way they're not knowing that they're playing a role in a solution for me.
But that level of honesty is real. But to me, certain people feel like there's power in lies. There's power in not keeping it all the way truthful.
That's true. Not putting all your cards in the table.
and that's a form of manipulation.
It is. That's why I feel like monogamy can be very toxic. I'm not saying that monogamy cannot exist.
It can exist, but
I think it exists best and most healthily in spaces where community is upheld as the most important thing, right? So maybe in a space like a church or like a very small town.
So you feel like, okay, so I'm going to say so.
Where like the survival of the society is based on everybody's role. Where you got a farmer, where you got a store owner, where you got the person that cultivates, whatever the case, right? Everybody has a role and everyone's playing and it's all working in this way. My stepdad, he's from Northern Italy, and he says when we get married for life. And his small town, there's only like 1 or 2 stores to get shit from. Okay. You feel me? There's only 1 or 2 spaces to chill. It's so small that everybody plays a very, very integral role in how that society functions. And that's how he kind of tried to set my home up. And I kind of rebelled against that my whole life. But now is when I'm realizing that those tools are essential, because if you are playing your role, it's tough because if you're just playing a role, then it's hard to really actually self-actualize. You're not going to know who you are, realize your greater potential, and maybe that's the devil.
But it's a balance. It's tough because it's a balance. Like, to me, it's like, it's still one band, one sound. I feel like so many times, like, we live in the me, selfish era of like, yo, I got my purpose, I got this.
Everybody's very on their individual shit.
Yeah, on their individual shit. Mm-hmm. But then as time goes on, you realize everybody has purpose, but our purpose together is a purpose as well.
Yeah,
like as I go through my purpose, you go through your purpose. Yeah. What was given to us can coexist together. Mm-hmm. But everybody's kind of like, I need the limelight. Mm-hmm. It's still a capitalistic society. It's still the classism. It's still, I'm trying to get to the top of this pyramid. Mm-hmm. But as we realize, it's kind of like, no, like, we're causing a dysfunction.
Yeah.
Because we feel like our purpose, our emotions, our feelings it trumps everybody. Yeah. It's like niggas in traffic in New York. Mm-hmm. I gotta get through this red light because I got somewhere to go. I don't got somewhere to go to. Mm. Like, you don't think the person behind you got somewhere to go? Mm-hmm. Like, we all got somewhere to go, but you want to cut to the side and do this and do that, and that's what you're willing to sacrifice.
Right.
And if it gets to a space where it's like, it feels like in life, if you don't run a red light, then you don't want love. In that analogy, if you don't like take the risk of like doing too much.
Drake make a song of that the girl was like, why don't you ever come and see me? And I feel like there's a lot of men who was like, if you're not doing the most for me, then you
100%. It's come and see me for once.
Yeah.
And to a certain extent, that's where that battle goes of, let's see what she gonna do for me. Or shorty bought me this, she paid for this Uber. She bought me that, she did me this, and the same thing vice versa.
Yo, I done ran to the motherfucking ground trying to prove to somebody that I wanna be there.
But when somebody's running you through them games, no matter what you want, no matter what happens, it's never gonna. It's never gonna be up.
I was young.
Nah, it happens to all of us when we're young.
Sucks, yeah.
And it's tough too because I've been in them situations more when I fucked up or I cheated, and be like, damn, like now I gotta wear it. I know I gotta wear this shit. She gonna make me want to buy this. I gotta go here and do this date. And it's crazy to me, and it's kind of like,
you gotta eat that though. That's what I'm learning. But if you're showing somebody that you can eat that, you're showing them that you are committed to staying.
But the fucked up part about it is like once I get out the doghouse, I've done the best things. I've done the best things when I fucked up.
Right.
And that's a part of the problem as well.
Yeah.
Some of the best dates I done been on, or some of the most flowers I've bought in, is that.
That's real. We do teach you to treat us the best when you fucked up, instead of just in general.
And just in general,
treat us well. Yeah.
100%. And in that space, it made me realize that, like, when I want to do those things, like, there's not days I've woken up and I'm like, all right, I want to do this for her. Mm-hmm. It's more like, all right, she deserve it. Let me do this so she don't bitch. Let me do this so she don't get tight. Matter of fact, she did this for me, so let me do that for her. And it makes me start to realize.
Goes back to us. I'm sorry, us using our emotions to get you to do shit.
1,000%.
So that she doesn't bitch, so that she doesn't get tight.
Yo, and y'all great at that shit.
Yeah,
like y'all amazing at that shit. So, but to me,
that's also how we communicate as women, right? They say the feminine energy is dark, energy is chaotic. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna know exactly what we're experiencing every step of the way.
100%. But the wild part about it is, y'all so heavy on men gotta be vulnerable and tap into their divine feminine and all that shit.
We're not creating a safe
you don't understand
space.
You're not creating a safe space.
Nah.
But then when men start to understand the balance of both and they tap into some divine feminine, they be like, oh, I ain't pussy. Like, this is what y'all was doing.
Yeah.
I'm starting to understand and read it now.
Yeah.
Like you said, the game's slowing down. I'm starting to see 2-3 steps ahead.
Yeah.
Like, you set this play up 2 weeks ago.
Right.
When you said this, or you sent that text message.
But you know what's tough about that, Cito? I'm sorry. I've been interrupting you a lot this conversation. I got a lot on my mind about this, but what sucks about that is that in an ideal world, there's two people interacting as exactly who they are, right? And if 2 weeks ago seemed like something was set up, maybe that is our subconscious setting that up.
Yes.
The person might not always intentionally be like, you know, my friend told me in the South they have a thing called I'm about to go make a play.
Yeah, okay.
That's what you said right now.
Yeah.
Like, you know, set the play up. You know what I'm saying? That she said only gangsters or I guess drug dealers or whatever. You know, we might not have been intentionally
1,000%
doing that, you know. But I also feel like our ego is always going to be subconsciously working to protect us. And that's okay. It's part of normal human life.
It's a fact.
But what I struggle with is being villainized by men. You know? And there's not, because I've set my life up in a way that's like I only really entertain certain people. I haven't been getting villainized as much. But I've been in a very recent situation where I realized I was really getting villainized.
No,
like,
real.
I'm you talking to me like I'm some dick hungry. That's what I told him.
No,
like,
that's real.
You acting like I'm a dick hungry bitch.
No, that's real shit. I ain't gonna lie to you, that's real shit.
Like, are you kidding me? You know how
That's
easy
real
it is to get dick? Like,
No,
it's
that's
not.
real shit.
It's not
That's
like
real shit.
why would I be on you? I wouldn't be on your
no.
body if it was the case. You know what I mean?
No,
So
we villainize y'all at times. We
and
do.
I don't understand. You know, I think that there's some mommy shit going on there.
There's some mommy. Yeah, that's a fact. That's
But
some mommy
there's
shit.
a lot of like literature behind too. Like people hate women.
All right, it's.
Like people hate women. They think that we're.
I'll be honest. There's a lot of men that I genuinely feel like don't like women. They have sex with them, but they don't like them.
How do you feel?
They'll be around them. They don't like them.
What do you think? Okay, let's tell the people, Cito, from your point of view. What are some things that a man who doesn't really fuck a woman like that, but will fuck on women? What are some traits that they have?
Honestly,
put us on, please.
It's tough because I feel like what I'm saying is probably older because that's when I've been around it more. I've adopted some of those principles.
Okay,
like I'll be honest with you, like I would like.
When you're in a space when you might not like women that much, because listen, there's some days where I don't like men that much.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. There's
some days where I catch myself like, yo, this fucking stupid ass, like he's just trying to be.
But sometimes it's just emotions.
He's just exactly.
But sometimes it's not purposeful.
Nah,
sometimes you just doing what you know. Sometimes it's subconscious. Sometimes you just like, yeah, this is just what it is, yo. Like I want to know better and be better, but I don't know what better even look like.
Yo, can I tell you, this whole conversation is toxic monogamy. This whole conversation, because literally monogamy, right? One man, one woman. We just talking about the toxic dynamics that can exist between one man and one woman.
It is toxic monogamy, but not
in a bad way.
Not in a bad way.
Because I'm poly, but I still have the traits, and I still see the allure in toxic monogamy. A lot of men like to be treated like they're the only one. A lot of men like it when a woman is like, oh, so who you was with last night? What you was doing?
I don't need that no more.
Yeah,
I did at one point. I don't need that no more.
Sometimes it fuels the passion.
It does, though.
And that's what some men need.
But to me, it's kind of like that's why I don't like. So you a donkey that you need the carrot in front of you. Like to me, it's like every time
we all have an animal in us. That's what
we do. But some of us
an animal we got the ego. We got the
and the ego's not bad at time. The higher self is. Eric Thomas made this statement, and it sticks with me forever. It's just kind of like at the end of the day, it's kind of like there's a lion and there's a gazelle. The gazelle only runs once the lion starts chasing it. But when the lion gets up, it starts running no matter what. So no matter what happens, if you're this gazelle, if there's another gazelle, as a lion, I'm gonna run anyway. And in that aspect, I don't need something external to motivate me.
Right.
Like if I have love in my heart and I want to be the best version of me, and I find a woman that I love, I don't need anything external to motivate me.
Well, how about when you lit? How about when you lit? You in the club and you get the text like, "Yo, so what you doing? Where you at?" You don't like that energy?
All right, see, that's different. That's different.
I feel like there's a vibe for different times.
It's different times because then you still got to know your partner. It's still a cat and mouse game.
Yeah.
No matter how you want to look at it.
Yeah, it sucks because in long-term relationships, that passion don't really exist. So I can see how that could be seen as unhealthy after a while.
No, it could be seen as necessarily unhealthy after a while, but then you got to realize, you also got to understand where y'all stand. Because when you send that text message, you gotta understand where you're at.
Yeah, I see.
You gotta see where you're at.
Yeah, the first time I'm saying, "Oh, what's going on here?"
Like it's a difference.
What's this about?
It's a different ball game.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like it's a case by case basis. Don't get me wrong. Like there's certain things that women are kind of like, yo, that I want to get him riled up, or I want him to come into this. I want him to pull up to the crib ready to like, yo, what I'm saying, like lay it down. That's real shit. I'm not knocking that. But to me, there has to be a healthy way to do that.
That's why I say BDSM is cool and is really tackling a lot of those things because people set up these scenarios.
Yo, but
they know exactly what it is. You know exactly what it is. And that role play is all talked about.
No, real shit. All right,
and then you can just get your shit off however you want it.
This is the last point, right? And I was talking about this last night with somebody. And she was just kind of like, you're one of the few men that I know that's okay with their woman being fucked by another man. That was a statement. And I was like, yeah.
She don't have to say it like that.
No. Yo,
she was trying to trigger your ego.
But see, but this is the other form of the manipulation.
Yeah.
Women love ego. Women be like, nigga, ego this, ego that. Yeah. And then when a nigga tries to submit the ego and let it go, now it's like, nah, bring that shit back, bring it back. It's me and me only. It's like you're trying to use it when you want to use it.
Yeah.
But to me, it's kind of like
for your own gain, for their own gain.
As a man, I know my sexual desires. I know how I fall to the flesh sometimes. I know that I have a very kinky side. So in that aspect,
he said kinky.
Like, hey,
not just regular. He said kinky.
I got a kinky side. Like some girls know. Yo, I'm sorry, but your daughter was tied up in a Brooklyn basement. Bro.
Brooklyn basement. It was all consensual.
It was all consensual. It wasn't a basement. It was the studios on the second floor. But at the end of the day, though, it is what it is. But in that aspect, it's kind of like, all right, so I meet the love of my life. We get married, we have kids. And like one day I understand I still have that urge. Say I cheat on her. Now, she could do two things. She can leave me, that's going to hurt. She can go get back, fuck somebody else, is going to hurt. Now, I could simply say like, yo, bro, I know I fall to the flesh. I know I'm not perfect. I'm not saying it has to be a full-blown open relationship, but I understand these hall passes. And in that aspect of it, it's kind of like, yo, bro, as you move that way, you build something with somebody. You're going to love them. You can build children with them, build business with them. Yep. And in that aspect, like those things are way more value than you view the flesh part. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying go fuck some nigga that lay up next to me. Yeah. I'm not saying that at all. But at the end of the day, she gets fucked anyway if she leaves me and marries somebody else or dates somebody else. If I cheat on her and break her heart or affect our family and she goes out and cheats, even if she doesn't fuck somebody else, I get fucked up by having to wear that and have to build that back up over and over in our household.
Or being made to try to meet needs of hers that you might not be able to
that I may not be
certain time.
And in that aspect, it starts
now
to make me wonder. It makes me wonder, just like, yo, like it's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Right.
So many men risk having the love of their life and the woman that God made them for, and they go out there and cheat. There's a possibility she could leave.
Right.
Or she can stay but never be the woman that she needs to be because she's wearing that scorn every single day.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that I want this to happen.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that I've seen men
have some grace about it.
I have grace about it because I've seen men have grace when a woman cheat on them and they take them back.
Yeah.
You may not throw it on the ground. You may not say nothing, nigga. Like, I've seen it. Like, I'm having grace to understand that if I'm not going to change my ways, something has to be adjusted. And in that adjustment, it's just kind of like, yo, is that the end of the world? And my thing about it is, it's simply this. If I don't want my girl to go fuck another nigga, then I should be faithful.
Yeah.
Or if
/ be there all the time for all her needs every single moment of the day.
That's not going to always.
Exactly. And
that's impossible. That's impossible. It's impossible.
And listen, for somebody can cheat even emotionally, they can love somebody else. They can have fantasies of someone, and it might just be because you're not around, and now their imagination has room to play. It might be because they genuinely feel the person, right? But a true connection should be able to withstand any type of superficial, whatever the case.
Exactly. It shouldn't
even
be,
if it's not superficial. Look, there could be loves that are real deep. They should be able to exist in the same space. I feel. I'm sorry. It's real.
It should exist in the same space. But, and this would be the last point.
You want to end the podcast now, or we're going to read anything at all about the posting?
Damn, matter of fact, we're going to.
The shortest episode ever. I have to leave at 7.
I know, that's what I'm saying. This is my shit. The way that women emotionally cheat, like, if we count that shit, it's not even a question of who cheats more. Like, it's just not. Like,
I stop it. Like, everything that women do. What the hell?
No.
Where's the statistics on this?
Yo, the statistics I see. Yo,
Google it right now. Hey Siri.
Yo, no lie. The way that women emotionally cheat, the way that women emotionally get, and I've seen it. I've experienced it. I've experienced the.
But that lends itself to how men just don't like women, because
it's not about me not liking y'all.
Where you only observing. Have you spoken to a woman about this kind of stuff? The women that you observed.
Can I keep it funky with y'all?
Yeah.
Can I keep it funky with you? Mm-hmm. When y'all get caught on y'all shit, most of the time y'all don't sit there and be honest with it.
The person's not honest with themselves. Then I'm sorry.
But that's the truth.
Yeah.
And there's another point I was gonna make. Do we fall in love consciously or subconsciously?
I don't think love is a choice. No.
So subconsciously.
Yeah.
But the most people aren't tapped into their subconscious.
No, they don't know what's driving.
So that's
them.
why people will say "I love you" and be like, "Oh shit, where that came from?" Because it's a subconscious feeling.
Yeah.
So in that aspect, we love subconsciously.
Yeah.
We operate subconsciously.
A lot of the times, if you're a little bit more present, if you're doing things that's forcefully making you present to the day, then you're more intentional, more conscious.
So then.
That's why mindfulness is so important.
But then most people live consciously. Mm-hmm. Most people spend their money consciously. Most people
I would feel like most people. I feel most people live subconsciously. You're a little bit of a more conscious person, right? People who understand themselves. I think yourself is where it starts. Once you understand yourself, you can start calling yourself conscious. I'm sorry, because then you could differentiate yourself from what you experience in the world. Right?
Yes.
You can differentiate what you're thinking, feeling from your perspective of the outside. I think that's what makes you conscious.
But to me, I feel like the only thing, what makes you conscious is understand that the subconscious and the conscious go hand in hand. Mm. The only difference is that, the only difference is you open the door. Mm. You open the door from your subconscious mind and allow the conscious to love each other.
Yeah.
And have that bond.
Yeah.
And that allows you to be present.
Yeah.
Because you pay like, okay.
Yeah.
Gratitude, I'm breathing. Mm-hmm. That's subconscious because I don't tell myself to breathe. Mm-hmm. My heart is beating. Mm-hmm. That's subconscious. I don't tell it to beat. Mm-hmm. But I'm consciously...
The connection
exactly,
is what creates
I'm consciously giving it gratitude.
A lot of people don't exist in that space.
They don't.
No.
And because of that, there is a brick wall between the mind and the emotion that loves and another part that lives. Mm-hmm. And that's why actions and the words sometimes don't align.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and that's why it's hard to trust people. Once you're conscious of yourself and you see that, it's like, damn, like, do you even know who you are?
But that's why...
Do you know what you're doing?
But that's why, at one point in time, like, trust and grace go hand in hand. Mm. I can't expect trust from somebody that doesn't trust themselves.
Some people say, oh, just trust the person, and then when you lose the trust, when they do something
that's
that
cap.
loses it.
That's cap.
Yeah, you gotta build
because I care
trust.
about. Listen, I don't play with myself. I spend too much time. I spend too much time to be the person that I am today.
As far as I'm concerned, you are not, or you not an enemy, but you're a threat. You're a threat. You're a threat to my safety until I understand you.
That's real. Especially as a woman in today's society, I understand that. Mm-hmm. I think I completely understand that.
It's different from men.
It depends.
To cultivate trust, because I think men just don't trust women.
We don't because a lot of the manipulation.
And I think a lot of that stems from your mothers. Who y'all see manipulate so much? Like, where you getting this perspective and understanding that women are manipulative?
That mother,
it gotta be your mother, your sister, your aunt. It's your mama. Now, I would never come at a man's mom like in an argument. Like, how some woman be like, "Oh, nah, that's your fucking." That's
I'm gonna keep
I would never.
That's a conversation for another day, bro. That mom trauma is something else.
No, but my brother has said something that made him feel like he's been watching. That made me feel like he's been watching me, and I've been a very pertinent. Like a role for what a woman is,
1,000%,
and he does not trust women because of me. And I'm like, God damn, well, I'm poly. Like,
nah, but elaborate on that.
Well, when I was younger, I guess he'd seen me, be in a relationship with somebody and love someone else. But that was before I had a full understanding of who I even was.
Yeah.
So when I came into understanding, I kind of tried to express it. Like, listen, I identify as polyamorous. I feel like I can love multiple people. And really where the integrity lies in that is communicating that to everybody. You can't be hiding the fact that
that's real. It's
communication. You love multiple people.
Because they can look at you like, yo, what this is like,
but
what?
I struggle because I've been told I'm poly because I want to keep my options open. And it's like, bro, that's saying that people are even fucking options for something long term. I might love people. I might love somebody, and they are not an option to build a family with, though.
But
they're not an option to build a business with.
That's your thought process. Do they know that?
They're not asking, and that's the hard part. The hard part is that you don't want to have these conversations with me, and I could tell.
Because it's the truth. Nobody wants to live in the truth. Who wants to live in the truth? That's one part about it. It's funny because I was listening to this Joey Badass interview on Lip Service. And they're speaking about it. It's kind of like, yo, he was talking like, yo, I'm gonna be poly, like, that's how I stand. Like, to be honest, like, he's like, yo, I'm fucking you. Like, as much as
I didn't know that.
As much
Someone
as
else
women
said something about Tristan Thompson. He said, oh, people are poly. Somebody who
I didn't see. The tough part is that as much as women want the truth, men that do tell the truth sometimes don't get the grace, or they get ostracized, or what I said is what I said, but what you comprehended was something else.
Right.
Or it's kind of like, my ex has done it. She's been like, I know you said that, but you didn't mean that. Like, what you mean I didn't mean that? That's what I said.
I used to be in that space too, where I allowed what I thought was my intuition, which really was my insecurity, to lead the way. Yeah.
To like, oh nah, you just saying that, but you still want to be here. Like, nah, I said I don't want to do this.
Trust issue.
So you start to realize that it's kind of like a lot of this is battles that we're having with ourselves that we're projecting onto each other, and that's the part that's tough.
So Joey Badass said that he's poly?
Yeah.
What?
I ain't gonna lie to you. Lip Service, I'm not. Lip Service,
What's
Joey
Lip
Badass.
Service?
Lip Service is Angela Lee's podcast.
Oh, okay.
It was a good show. It was a good one. And he was just talking about just like divine masculinity. He was talking about just divine femininity, understanding just like this ideology.
He's going to be polyamorous or polygamous?
I think you're talking about polygamous.
He just said the word poly.
No, he said polygamous. Because he's breaking it down, kind of like he's breaking it down and explaining to me too, like, and that's what opened my eyes too. Like, yo, and I heard about it on Clubhouse as well. Like, people be talking all this poly shit or talking about they want to live this lifestyle, but some of that lifestyle when you get married and he's like, yo, there's two wives. They both have the same house. They both like one can't have more than another. Like y'all talking about you got a girl and a side chick and a roster. Like that's not the same. Right. Like so many times we get this bag or this negative connotation toward these other things, and they're not even what we think they are. Because we're not using them in the right context of life. Like, there's so many niggas out here talking they poly, but then you just want to be out here fucking bitches. Like, it's not the same dynamic. Because you're not being truthful. Not everybody's open and honest. It's not transparent. And I think that's the biggest part. I've learned any man, as a man, you can live the life you want, my nigga. Just be truthful. Just keep it funky. Right. And if you keep it funky at that space, you give them a choice. And to be honest with you, some are going to say no, but some are going to say yes. Because
they're attracted to that. I'm super attracted to confidence.
And so
even if what you're saying rubs me the wrong way, it's like, yo, thank you for keeping it a
So now it's on her. And in that aspect, you cannot get, like, and it's tough because I've been around men. I've been those men. I've got the fuckboy label at times. And I say, I kept it funky with you, though.
Yeah.
But it wasn't what you wanted to hear, so now I'm a filthy nigga.
It's tough, too, because it's also like, if you keep it real with somebody, right? And the way they respond to you, you might intuitively feel like they don't fuck what you're saying. That's information for you, though. So if your intuition is telling you, yo, she doesn't really fuck with this, then you, as a responsible human being to yourself, you gotta fall back.
No, and I've spoken about this a lot. At first it's sexual. At first it's emotional awareness. You have to be aware of your emotions and why you feel that way. Then there's emotional intelligence, where you have the thought process and the intellect to understand where these emotions apply. The last one is emotional integrity, to understand that emotionally, even though physically this might feel good,
right,
resources wise, economically this might work,
yeah,
but integrity wise, you know, y'all both doing this right now isn't gonna align, and eventually it's gonna affect her and affect you. And if that's the case, then you gotta let it go. Because at moments and times, I'm like, if I kept it funky, she still want to be around. Fuck it, I can keep fucking. I keep doing whatever I want to do. But then when she starts to do certain things, you like, I kept it a buck, so it doesn't matter. And it's like that's not good enough no more.
I feel like if the actions, okay, like if the words are aligning with the actions for a while, cool. You know, if the words stop aligning with the actions, okay, and then you gotta start moving a little differently.
But the tough part about the actions aligning with words is that my words and my actions may align a certain way, but doesn't mean that it's going to align the way that you want it to.
I mean with the person. Like, if they're saying they're cool with it and their demeanor is cool. They're saying they're cool with it and their demeanor is off, then you got to start making your adjustments.
But then that manipulation starts to come in. And that's when men need discipline.
It sucks so much because it's like, I wish discipline could exist in the same space as getting your needs met. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you need connection. Sometimes you need intimacy. Sometimes you need love. Sometimes you need community. And I feel like a lot of people feel like discipline looks like cutting yourself off from it.
And that's a problem.
Cold turkey.
It has a negative connotation. Like discipline isn't that. Discipline is that you doing the things that align with what you need.
Whereas I feel like it's built step by step. And maybe what discipline looked like yesterday looks a little bit different today.
100%.
But you have to have grace and compassion for yourself and understanding.
But that's the word. It's grace.
And I hate a lot of men too, especially men in New York, bro. They're very cold turkey. Like if I gotta make a decision, I'll make a decision. Now I don't give a fuck about how nobody feels about it. Including myself. I could be hurting myself right now.
You know, because it's a survival. It becomes a survival thing.
Yeah.
It becomes to keep it so thou out. It's kind of like you can't even, like sometimes as a man you feel like you can't even trust your emotions.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, bro. Like, you know how tough it is. Like, damn, like I fuck with her, but this situation don't fuck with me. It's not even that she don't fuck with me.
And it's tough. Like, when do men make the decision that the situation does not work for you? And if that happens before a conversation, does it really not work for you? If you cannot have I see love and sex as a business transaction. You coming to me with a need, I'm coming to you with a need. Mm-hmm. You know? So if you are not having a conversation with your business partner about something that's going on, and you make a decision that is not working, are you actually making the best decision for yourself? You have not exhausted all options.
But I feel like, to keep it funky with you, the exhausting all options,
or at least maybe your top 3 options, and one of them top
like
3
no kissy, no kissy. By the time it gets to your mind, you kind of like you just done, but
that's the tough part, and that's why they say men spin the block all the time, because you're making impulsive
decisions,
reactionary decisions.
But one thing I've learned, a lot of the situations that we're talking about aren't relationships. A lot of these should be situationships. Like a situationship is a relationship, though. It's not.
It's a relationship that is based on something that's situational.
Okay.
If it works right now. If I'm feeling it right now, if the moment aligns, example, right? Here's a situational situation.
Talk good shit. A situational situation. Let's go.
A situational situation. I'm out. I'm lit. I'm having a great time. It's Saturday. I know on Saturdays you might be, making plays or whatever the case. So I know that there's a 75% chance you're available. The situational dynamic in that is I might hit you up. You're 75% available, 25% not. That's a situation. I am making. I'm taking a risk on.
Taking an attempt.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's how I feel. I feel like something that is situational can still be a relationship dynamic. The dynamic I have with it is situational. If the situation allows, we're gonna link up.
All right, but
if it doesn't allow, we're not gonna link up. But I still got a relationship with you because I'm still fucking on you.
Which is a fact. Okay.
Come on.
In that aspect,
if I'm fucking on you, we're in a relationship. I'm sorry.
No, no,
no, not a relationship like exclusive. We're building.
Not the title.
But
I get that. But
Cito,
as a man,
Cito, you and I have a
man,
relationship. Cito.
I get that.
We are friends. We're creatives.
Listen,
we build together. That's a relationship.
No, I hear you.
You and your mother have a relationship. It's a son.
It's a son-mother
relationship.
But no.
You and the block have a
You
relationship.
gotta see this is that woman shit. You gotta choose your words very carefully.
No, I don't. I have to be understood by the people that hear me, and most people do not want to hear me, so they're not gonna understand.
The reason why I said no like that, and I have trauma in that, is
not
because
not just you. It's men.
Matter of fact, the reason
men
wai
feel like, you gotta figure it out before you say
as
shit.
long as a
like,
man.
No.
As I may be generally speaking, but for the men that connect and understand, whoop whoop. For the ones that don't, I completely understand. But I've had trauma with women that have felt like
they have some ownership over you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or I've had trauma with women saying like that's my man or that's my because of what they've done or how connected they are or they've explained it to their friends or they said their perspective and they're saying that because they don't want to express those feelings or tap in that way or feel like they're looking dumb around the people that care about them.
Yeah.
So they'll say that's my man or they'll say that's my this and I'll get around them and they're like, oh yeah, that's what's the name, man. And
I'm sorry.
And I'll be like,
if
huh?
I'm fucking on you, I'm loving on you, if I'm checking in on you, if you have a complete access to me, you're my boo. I don't give a fuck about that.
We could do
I'm
that.
not gonna call you my man.
Listen,
I'm not gonna call you my boyfriend.
Usher and Plies gave us 2 titles we can run with. I could be a boo. You could be my busted baby. We could do whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do. But you're not my girl though.
No one is out here saying we're in a committed relationship.
I hear you, and you
committed exclusive relationship,
and you free with that.
But also understand too that commitment is perspective, right? So I might view a commitment as you answer the phone when I call you, you respond to my text when I call. If I have an issue, you're gonna be there. Commitment can be defined as so many things. I feel like someone's committed to me if I know that they're gonna be around if I need them.
To be honest with you, there's no one so crazy about that because you know that niggas that's heavily on their shit. That's why there's moments where
avoid it.
There's moments when I could be free. That's why there's moments when I'm free, and I know for a fact that like you know what. I'm not gonna answer every time you call because you're gonna think that I'm gonna always answer.
And that's important.
So because of that, I'm gonna let you know, like yo, allow that. Like
that's
I need you to keep this distance so you understand that. Because before you know it, you're gonna check off every box of what an actual monogamous relationship is, and the next line is gonna be.
What's the fear in being consistent and committed to a person, right? Because you need that for a thriving relationship. And relationships might not always have the same outcome, but they should be beneficial, mutually beneficial.
But the beneficial aspect, in that aspect, if we both came to each other and said, this is what we're looking for, this is what I want from you physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and we kind of had a verbal agreement that's different. But we don't do that. It comes off as like,
and that's what hurts. Yo, I have this board that I bring to people sometimes. I'm like, what are you looking for? And they have so much hesitancy with filling out this
that's
board,
important.
telling me what they need.
Because if we could go there.
You think I have a one-up on you now because I know what you want?
No, but if we go there and we start off there, then at that space, we can never necessarily, we can't. I remember I was dealing with a situation like 2 years ago, and I remember at one point in time, she was kind of just like, as it was over, she was like, you wasting my time. Then we could have been this, we could have been that. And I was like, hold on, time out. She was telling her friends all this shit. We had mutual friends. And I was like, hold on. When we was we was sitting down, we didn't talk about that? She was like, yeah, but I was like, but didn't we reiterate it this, And she was like, yeah, but I thought as time was going on, it would change. But I'm like, but when did we talk about that again?
Yeah.
But we didn't, but I thought because of, and I'm like, so, and as much you're talking about when men come and like they change the decision, like after speaking to themselves, it happens with women too. Like women will flip the switch like, all right, you know what? We just fuck with each other, but now I fuck with you. You my nigga. I don't care with nobody. And it's just kind of like,
I'm gonna tell
you ain't
right
consult
away.
that with me.
If I feel that way, I'm gonna tell you, and that's me giving you.
But my thing is, tell me. I'm cool with you telling me.
I'm giving you an out.
I'm gonna keep it funky with you. I know the look in a woman's eyes when it switches, and you like, fuck, I done fucked up, bro.
Really?
It's like, I
don't ever want nobody to feel like they fucked up just because I caught feelings.
I need you to. I need you to fuck with me heavy. I don't need you to love me.
This is some New York shit if I ever heard of y'all.
No,
don't come to New York. You planning on moving to New York? Stay the fuck out of New York.
Like for real.
Love does not live here.
I just need you to fuck with me. Like fuck with me for
fuck
real.
Fuck with them heavy,
like,
but don't
fuck with
love
me
them.
heavy. Just don't love me, yo. Wildin', bro. You doing too much.
In order for you to fuck with anybody heavy, you gotta love them.
No.
You do.
No.
There's I fuck with you and there's I fuck with you heavy.
No.
If I fuck with you heavy, that means I love you.
No.
If I only fuck with you, it's like I'll fuck with you situationally.
That's it. Thank you. When the situation applies.
Come on, bro. Then you don't really want love.
I just said that.
Yeah, you said that. And you gotta tell a woman
Let me
that.
stop. Let me
I'm
stop.
not looking for love. I'm looking for something that works when I need it to work. And let the woman choose.
Deep down in my heart, I do genuinely want love.
We all need love.
Now, do I feel like hell heard you, LL Cool J? But do I waste my time in situations that I know aren't for me? Yes. And I was listening to this Drake and Brent song the other day. The wasting time, my time, the waste your time with me, waste your time.
I love that
song. But I feel like that's what we live in. If you're gonna waste your time, then waste your time with me.
That's because you're not truly wasting your time, and we are so afraid that we think we're wasting our time, and we're not. If you are spending time with someone that you fuck with, that vibes and sees you and understands you, there's no wasting your time.
Listen, regardless of the fact.
I love that song. You're going to have to add it to this podcast.
We'll add it to
at the end. Close it out with that.
I think my biggest...
That's my favorite song.
The biggest issue that I have with myself, and I realize is kind of like, the same thing I have a problem with my career is like our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure. It's our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. To quote
Potential you're afraid of.
To quote W.D. Du Bois. I've seen so many men go for what they know they can get and not go for what is necessarily aligned with them and what is for them.
What's going to elevate them
and in that aspect of that,
catapult them.
Because of
that's
that,
how I feel.
It's true, but because of that,
for my life,
it is a form of settling. Because in that settle, you're never going to reach the full level of love that she may deserve. Because you know deep down in your heart that she's not, or an experience you might want. Because deep down, you and her know that it can never reach that because that's not what it's meant to be. So let's not do that no more. And that was my moment of clarity. I ain't got nothing else to say. Because if I finish this Taylor Port before you know, I'm gonna get in trouble. So
toxic monogamy is just regular. Let's say that's New York culture. Not even just let's take the monogamy out of it. It might just be relationally, just how we relate to each other. But the more love we experience, the more life we experience, and that's just once we kind of admit that to ourselves, we'll be able to elevate our lives. And people might not know what love feels like, but I love me some fucking coffee. I love if I'm waking up and I'm tired, I'm like, fuck. As soon as I drink some coffee, I feel like I'm ready for the day.
See,
I love my dog, yo. Anytime I see her, I'm like, hi. I feel so joyful.
Do you manipulate your dog?
No.
Yes, you do.
Like how?
With the toys, with the food, like
no.
How no? What you mean?
No. I've never really. I've trained her a little bit, but I don't see our life together as me training her.
But training is kind of a form of manipulation.
Right, because you want them to be a certain way. That's why I haven't. That's why it's not like steady for me. I don't consistently train her because I kind of want to I want her to exist.
Okay.
I want her to be. It gets tough when she be biting people.
Okay. See, now. But
when she's barking at the neighbors, it's
discipline.
tough. It's
that's
like, damn, maybe I should
discipline.
have trained you more, but it's hard.
And the last one. What a man defines as consistent and what a woman defines as consistent may be different. And we need to find a bridge to that. Because there's times when women's like, I need you to be consistent. And there's times where I'm kind of like, no, but I need you to be reasonable. Like I need you to understand that like there's a lot of...
You gotta get to know somebody.
Yeah, there's a lot of...
they're committed to, what they love.
A lot of things in my life require my energy and my attention that have nothing to do with other women.
Yeah.
That have to do with family and friends and purpose and money. And I think that needs to be understood.
Mm-hmm. Like, I feel that way as a woman, but I feel that I have a lot of masculine traits too, so it's hard for men to really perceive me as 100% feminine, because I'm always working. I could relate to men on a different level, but that's real. There has to be some reason, like a realistic energy here. Like I'm not always just, I work Uber, so I work late at night, and I've been made to feel like I'm out fucking. I'm trying to just get this money.
That's manipulation.
I'm not out here fucking nobody. Listen, if I'm fucking anybody, it's because I made a choice. I said, listen,
it's
I'm
manipulation
horny right now.
It's manipulation. I ain't gonna lie, niggas know what's up. I stopped doing that shit.
What?
That form of manipulation. Like it's called, in my culture we call it's called badding a girl up.
Okay.
Like you bought her up, like kind of like, yo, like where you at? Like for real, you with that? Like you outside this late? Matter of fact, it's cool. I'm gonna call you back later. Like what you mean?
I've never experienced that, but I I felt like people like just take a step away when they realize that a lot of my time is not going to be on them.
But a lot of that shit is an ego thing too. Cause at one point in time I was like that too. Like I need a girl all over me.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna be all over her. Now I'm kind of like like yo, go ahead, go do your thing. You want to go to brunch? Go ahead, have fun.
Yeah.
Here's some money for some shots. Go ahead, have fun. Do your thing.
Right.
And I feel like that whole like if you're not around me so much, that means you don't fuck with me. Shit's not true.
Yeah.
I just got a lot. Like my mind is focused on things like
A
a
lot
man
of our
with
families
purpose
are
is
like that
different.
too. We're very
But
together, our
yo.
families. That's how we know how to perceive love.
yo, no lie, but I think
Yeah.
that goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
I need you around. You got to be here. Damn, I ain't see you this
Yeah.
long. You don't fuck with me. It's like. Yo, like you're breaking these generational curses, then that shit not easy, nigga. Shit, you gotta get time to grind.
It's
Like,
tough because we be together in our families and we might be fucking miserable.
yo, but listen, no matter what, keep your peace.
Yeah.
And that's the moment of clarity. No matter what, keep your peace. It's your boy Cito Blanquito.
We love you.
Signing out.
Thank you for inviting me back here.
Oh, you got Vine, and she on some wine.
Yeah, that's
And I think it's about that time. Until next week, and we out.
later.